When Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach first came out, there were a lot of mysteries that confused theorists. Who is Patient 46? What's the deal with Burn Trap? Which ending is the canon ending? Are Vanny and Vanessa the same person? Why was that a question? Seriously, why were people confused about that? In time, a lot of these mysteries would be answered. It turns out Gregory was Patient 46, Burn Trap is the Mimic, the canon ending is the Princess Quest ending, and yes, Vanny and Vanessa are indeed the same person. But despite this, there are still a decent amount of things that just remain unanswered. What's up with the Nightmarion plushies? How did Gregory break free from Glitch Trap's control? And, of course, what's the deal with the wall code? It's that last mystery that I'm going to be focusing on today, and if we're being honest, I feel very confident in my conclusion. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Before I explain my interpretation of the wall code, I want to read through it first. After that, I'll say who I think wrote it, and then we'll dissect it line by line as I explain why. Here it is. Break and mend, I built the breath. They hunt now, drawn to life. Not real, still keen, and frit and fraught with thought and zest and jest, no blunt woes. Dodge, duck, flash, shoot, crawl, run, crush the vile band. Cry not, try not, do not hold out hope. No, your life, your aim will save those with soul. That's the message. So who do I think wrote it? Well, that's right. I think Edwin Murray wrote the wall code. Why do I think that? Well, now let's go through the message line by line, so I can explain why, starting with, break and mend, I built the breath. Edwin built the mimic, pretty self-explanatory. They hunt now, drawn to life. They is either referring to the Glamrocks, who we know kill people, although Edwin died before they started doing that, so he wouldn't know, or the mimic. Although the use of they instead of it makes me lean more towards it being about the Glamrocks, but we'll go more in depth into this later in the video. Not real, still keen, and frit and fraught with thought and zest and jest, no blunt woes. The mimic might not be alive like humans are, but it's still aware and can think on its own. It's frightened because of its ability to think and move, and it doesn't have any clear pain, just pure chaos and agony that it's going to inflict onto others. Dodge, duck, flash, shoot, crawl, run, crush the vile band. Edwin is describing what will need to be done in order to destroy the Glamrock animatronics, as he knows they've been corrupted by the Mimic. This ends up being fulfilled by Gregory during the events of Security Breach. Cry not, try not, do not hold out hope, no. The person who will destroy the Glamrocks and defeat the Mimic shouldn't get distracted by feeling bad or hesitant to do so, nor should they hold out hope for being able to redeem them. Although that does kind of get disproven with Cassie and Roxy and Ruin, but shush. Your life, your aim, will save those with soul. By destroying the Glamrocks and defeating the Mimic, this person, Gregory, will save people with real souls, humans, as opposed to the Mimic, who has no soul since it's not alive. Combining all of this, I believe this message is about Edwin creating the Mimic, it becoming aware and scared of its own existence, and then becoming evil due to Edwin beating it and infusing it with his agony. Edwin gives instructions on how to stop the Mimic, and tells whoever reads the message to not feel bad or try to redeem it, as it's too far gone. Instead, they will need to destroy the Mimic, as doing so will save the lives of others. Two pieces of evidence that help support the idea that Edwin is the one who wrote the wall code are the location of it and how it was actually written. The wall code is located in a recreation of Michael Afton's room from Sister Location, which is most likely in the same house as the Midnight Motorist house, which used to be Edwin's house, so you can sort of see a connection there. Then, the way the message is written also supports it being written by Edwin, from the storyteller. The entire interior of the hollow tree trunk, to about 6 feet up the wall, was plastered with large sheets of construction paper. The paper was in an array of colors, but each sheet was marked up with plain black marker. Every sheet of paper was covered with odd stick drawings, and strange symbols that were not at all familiar. Squiggles, squares, loops, triangles within triangles, mathematical equations, nonsensical ones that were all tangled up into symbols. Triangles within triangles, you say? Granted, the wall code isn't exactly triangles within triangles, but I would say it's close enough. The general idea of a strange language that seems indecipherable is still there, even if it's not exactly one-to-one. Now, I quickly want to bring up an older explanation for who wrote the wall code that was really popular when Security Breach first came out, and that was Michael Afton. According to this theory, Michael Afton survived the FNAF 6 fire, and has been living in the Mega Pizzaplex in secret to try to take down Glitch Trap. He was the one who wrote the wall code, so that Gregory could defeat Glitch Trap once and for all. The evidence for this theory is that the wall code is in Mike's room, which is labeled Purple Man Room in the files, and there's a drawing of Helpy escaping a burning building in Help Wanted 2, which is apparently supposed to be Mike. Plus, a scrapped email from FNAF AR was supposed to contain Michael's name, meaning he would still be alive and doing stuff in the modern era. A few problems with this theory. First, Michael definitely did not survive Henry's fire. Not only would he have no reason to, as his mission of finding his father and stopping him had ended, and Henry also says that Michael is
right where you want to be.
Which, although Henry might be wrong, that's very clearly Scott's way of using a character to tell us what another character wants. A classic and very common storytelling technique. Second, the fact that this wall code is in Mike's room is weird, yes. But the Mega Pizzaplex is full of rooms that are recreations from past games. This would just be another one of those rooms, and the wall code being in here doesn't have to mean that Mike wrote it. The retro CDs are also in this room, but Michael wasn't in those, was he? Plus, if you think the Mega Pizzaplex was built upon MCM, which I don't, then this could literally just be Michael's room, and that's that. Finally, the scrapped AR email never saw the light of day, and was presumably scrapped very early on. Unlike the other scrapped AR emails, which are basically complete, scrapped content should never be considered canon, unless it's those AR emails. And the M. Afton email is no different. So all in all, no. Michael did not write the wall code, meaning our most likely candidate remains Edwin. But when would Edwin even write the wall code? I hear you asking. Well, during the events of the Storyteller, Edwin sneaks into the Mega Pizzaplex multiple nights in a row to get into the Storyteller tree. This is around the time when he notices the Glamrocks acting differently, now that they've been infected with the Mimic 1 virus. So it would make sense that he would write this message during one of those nights, saying that the Glamrocks and the Mimic need to be stopped. Edwin knows he can't do anything, he's just an old man, so he writes the wall code in the hopes that someone will find it and do what he is unable to do. Now, there's a problem with this explanation. The Storyteller itself. This story is one that is heavily connected to the Mimic story, and that got decimated by Secret of the Mimic. The Storyteller mentions that Fiona died in childbirth, and has the Mimic 1 program running the actual Storyteller, with Edwin saying, "It was happening again," when he finds out about the Mimic 1 program infecting everything, something that hasn't happened in the games yet. Both of these cannot happen in the game's timeline, since A, Fiona didn't die in childbirth, and B, the Mimic 1 program doesn't exist either, since it seems that was replaced with the idea of M1 and M2, and M1 isn't the program that was used in the Mega Pizzaplex, but rather M2. So, if anything, it should be Mimic 2 infecting everything, not Mimic 1, but it's not. Luckily, there is a way to explain away these problems, as well as the issue of Edwin not knowing that the Glamrock animatronics hunt people, and that's that the Storyteller did happen in the game's timeline, but just not the way it did in the books. Pretty much the same thing as what happened with the original Mimic story. The broad strokes of the Mimic still happened in the game's timeline. Edwin Murray runs his company, he's married to Fiona and has a son named David. Fiona dies, leaving Edwin with David. Edwin builds the Mimic to babysit David. David and the Mimic bond. David dies in a vehicle-related accident due to Edwin's neglect. Edwin beats the Mimic, and Fazbear Entertainment sends in technicians to retrieve the Mimic, only for all of them to die. There are differences between the Mimic and Secret of the Mimic's stories, though. Fiona dies at Fall Fest instead of in labor. There are 2 Mimics instead of 1, with the first taking on the persona of Fiona. Edwin doesn't live in a mansion in the books, but he does in the games. His company and factory are different, and Fazbear Entertainment is more involved with his company's collapse in the games than they are in the books. Now, who's to say the same couldn't be true for the Storyteller, too? The broad strokes of the story, that being the Storyteller being built to replace the creative team, the Storyteller running off the Mimic's code, Edwin breaking into the Pizzaplex to investigate the Storyteller, and Edwin dying inside of it, could all be the same, but the details of the story could be changed. Essentially, it would be secondary canon. Canon until directly overwritten by a higher canon, in this case, the games. Details like Fiona dying in childbirth in the Mimic 1 program were directly debunked in Secret of the Mimic, and so they can be changed to fit with our game's counterparts. And before you say, "Oh, well, Edwin dies before Secret of the Mimic, so he can't be alive for the events of the Storyteller, or to write the wall code." Well, then to that I say, we never get 100% clear confirmation of his death, only that his coughing worsens. Unlike Fiona and David, whose deaths are really important to the plot, and get hit over a head repeatedly throughout the game. Edwin doesn't get that. Plus, if we take the idea of the broad strokes of the books being canon, then he is still alive, like he is at the end of the Mimic, and only dies at the end of the Storyteller. To wrap this video up, I think the idea that Edwin wrote the wall code is really solid, and fits a lot better than a lot of people might think. But what do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree with this theory? If you have any thoughts in the video, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.